My name is Noel Lynch, and I'm the chairman of the National Organizing Committee for the World Cup, Men's T20 World Cup 2024. The reason that we are here though in Oistins is just to announce what the government plans to do with the renovation and upgrading of Oistins and the Bay Garden for the World Cup. Now, as you know, this installation has become pretty iconic in Barbados as it relates to entertainment. I don't think there's any tourist that comes to Barbados from any level, any demographic that does not come to Oistins. And Oistins is making a name for itself globally in terms of Barbados' tourism development. And we thought that it would only be prudent and sensible to ensure that Oistins was in pristine condition for the World Cup 2024. The government is going to spend just under $5 million, $4.7 million to refurbish this facility. It should be ready by the end of May. Most of the work is going to go on during the day. We're not closing the facility during the period of the renovation and upgrading because as you can see, as you can look around and see, most of the stores are not open during the day. It's at night. So when the work is going on, there will still be substantial activity here. And we're going to get the works going and reopen by the end of May. Now, just let me say one other thing. In this World Cup, as opposed to 2007 and 2010, I think a lot of Barbadians were left with not totally satisfied that they had gotten optimum benefit out of what the World Cup could provide, either as an initial, an immediate benefit, or as a legacy benefit coming out of the World Cup. Two things must happen in this World Cup that must be sensible. Barbadians must believe, from all walks of life, that they're integrally involved in the process, particularly when it comes to small business development. We've met with the the Ministry of Small Business. We've met with Fund Access and the Trust Loan entity. And what we are trying to do is find as many ways as possible to engage smaller entrepreneurs, smaller developers in the World Cup. Barbadians must feel that they are part and parcel of any global event that's being held in Barbados. The second thing is, if you don't get an immediate uplift, you should be able to ensure that you get a legacy benefit from the World Cup. And therefore, the, one of the one of the major components of the legacy of the World Cup must be a resurgence of cricket being played in Barbados. Cricket has been good to us. Cricket has been good to us both at the social and economic levels. There are lots of Barbadians who have benefited from cricket. Cricket is at the core of our national development. And the only, we got two living national heroes and one come from cricket. The other thing that's important though is during the 2007 World Cup and afterwards, the best years we've ever had economically in Barbados were 2007, 8, and 9. You can check the records for yourself. That's World Bank and IMF figures, not mine. And therefore, whenever there's a global event, and whenever you shine a light on Barbados for a global event, you get some form of economic uplift. And the Prime Minister, in her wisdom, thought that, and her cabinet, that this was the thing to do: host this World Cup, host the finals. We have England, Australia, Oman, Namibia, and Scotland here. And it means that England alone can tell you what happens whenever England are hosted in Barbados for cricket. But this particular installation, this facility, gives smaller players an opportunity to benefit from the World Cup in a way that they wouldn't normally have. And we're going to ensure that it is uplifted, upgraded, refurbished. But the thing is, when the tourists gone and the people going back to Oman and Namibia and England and Scotland, it's here for Barbadians to enjoy. And that's really the message that we want to send this morning, that the work that is being done is not done just for visitors coming in, but whenever they're going to only be here for 30 days. There's only 9 days of cricket. And the other thing about Oistins becomes as well, Oistins is going to become one of the major fan zones. There are 3 major fan zones for the World Cup. There is Pelican Village in Bridgetown. There's Hayman's Market in St. Peter, and Oistins here in Christchurch. And you can have a big screen over there. People are going to be allowed to come here. Obviously, you ain't charging anybody because the entire thing is on ESPN, but people are allowed to come here. They're allowed to patronize the places that are here. Visitors are going to be here. And I say 9 days of cricket, but for the other 21 days of June, people are expected to be in Barbados. So you can imagine what type of environment we're talking about. 25,000 extra visitors during June, 150,000 extra room nights. If you do the math, if you do the arithmetic really, by 350 US dollars a night for the total spend, about $110 million should accrue to Barbados. Those who want an equation for it, we're spending $35 million to refurbish Kensington Oval, $10 million extra dollars to do an indoor facility with all of the bells and whistles that you can think of, and another $5 million to spend. But here at Oistins, $4.7 million and a little bit extra. So we are interested in small people and interested in their development.
Ray Moore, I'm consultant with the BTA, Barbados Tourism Investment Inc. So the refurbishment work would include refurbishing the existing kiosks, the existing bathrooms, etc. And that would entail doing some power washing of the roofs, dealing with any deteriorated elements. We want to replace those. Significant work to the making good of the exterior, which would include painting, work to power washing of the floors and the grounds, etc. And then new works, which would include some fixed pergolas to the front and the back. And then also there's a new gazebo, and then work to the stage area, the entertainment area. We want to improve that, and then we'll have two new bathrooms to the east, and that is excluding paving work to the fish market and also to the large car park that will be to the north behind KFC. So that's a summary of the extent of the work that is going to be done.
The interesting thing about this World Cup is that it's live on ESPN. So it means that anybody with a big screen or anybody with a small screen in their house can also see the games live. When you are at Kensington Oval looking at these games, right down in the what's called in the fan zone, Pelican, you're gonna be able to see on a big screen, but you're gonna be just next door. But the thing is, one of the things that we are encouraging people to do is to set up their own watch parties. Do what you want to do, but you can't charge anybody entry fee. An entry fee, for example, you can't put it in your house and charge me $25 to come in to see it, because that is part of the ambush marketing issue. But for example, a place like Oistins, all these places are going to be open. You can patronize them all during the day and the night. And when the games are played, particularly big games, you got games like Australia versus England. Australia versus England in the preliminary stage is one of the biggest matches in the World Cup, period. And the World Cup is being hosted, as you know, in 6 countries in the Caribbean and in Dallas, Fort Lauderdale, and New York in the United States. But the group that we're hosting here, the mere fact that we have England and Australia, perennial powerhouses of cricket, it means that people are going to be following this match. That match is being played on June 8th. As far as I know up to now, is almost sold out already.
So ultimately, what we would have just had was a conversation, because Prime Minister Motley has indicated on numerous of occasions that we have consultation with the stakeholders. We would have now met with the members of the Oistins Bay Garden and the Oistins Fisher Fort and the businesses in Oistins in respect to what is happening here and what is happening for World Cup. Equally, we will be having on Saturday the 20th at 7 o'clock one of our pop-ups for World Cup, Hit for Six, which will be this Saturday here in the Oistins Bay Garden and next Saturday on the 27th. And we are looking also to have some more pop-ups in other spaces that we will be announcing shortly. But to bring you quickly up to speed, we will not be closing Oistins Bay Garden. What we have agreed to do is that we will have stipulated hours for opening and closing, but the compound will not be closed. Oistins Bay Garden will be closed for business at 11 o'clock every night during the week. Fridays, we go to the normal 2 o'clock, but Saturdays and Sundays, we close at 12 to facilitate that. Equally, we're not putting nobody out of work. We have had extreme conversation with the landlord, Ms. Jessamy from NCC, which is the acting general manager. So these things have not been done willy-nilly, and we are actually having conversation with the people to make Oistins and the embryos of Oistins bigger and better. This World Cup or the repairs is just not for a week or 2 weeks. We must be able to see the benefits in the next 5 to 7 years going on for all the works that needs to be done. So conversation has been had, consultation has been had, and we are grateful.
We can end with it. We need about 500 volunteers. We have the CWI, they have about 200. The Cricket West Indies, this is, they have provided to about 200. We have another 300 that came through the Ministry of Sports. About 300 more, so that's 500 in all. But we need at least 500 volunteers to ensure that this World Cup works in the way in which we have envisioned. Well, let me tell you two things. The committee that we have set up, the National Organizing Committee, as opposed to the local organizing committee, which is Cricket Central and Cricket Base, has over 50 entities on it. These two folks sit on the National Organizing Committee, so we've gotten them involved. Also, who has come to the National Organizing Committee meeting is Kimar Safri, the man who is about dealing with homelessness in Bridgetown and other places in Barbados. We are we are creating a plan in and around how do we solve the problem of vagrants in Bridgetown and in Oistins and anywhere else, and not just for the World Cup, but how we have a program ongoing post the World Cup. He's come there. I can tell you that we've already looked at the plan. Um, you know, one of the things about moving vagrants and dealing with the vagrant situation and the homeless situation is that there's a lot of deep sociology and psychology involved in this process. There are a lot of legal also issues involved in this process. You can't just snatch up a man or a woman and put them somewhere or lock them up or anything. So it has got to be done sensitively. A number of these people, what he said is, a number of them have psychological problems. A lot of them should be on medication. A lot of them, you have to find alternative housing for them. Even though he has the shelter there in Bridgetown, a lot of people don't want to come in the shelter, or they come in the shelter and then they go back on the street. So it must be, so the plan cannot be a 1 week or 1 day plan. It must be a comprehensive, medium to long-term plan that allows us to deal with these people in a sensible and sensitive way.
purchase materials and so forth. So we'll have good expo.
Facilitate
9:45.
9:45, right? 9:45 p.m. tonight to facilitate the work starting at 10. From yeah, we just win. Not